Help me reach my goal and subscribe. And hit the bell icon.
Chapter 68-71. Although Tawana was reluctant, she still accepted the invitation to the party in the evening for the sake of future business cooperation. Not for anything else, just to give Bertnard a face. Bertnard's assistant also breathed a sigh of relief and quickly said politely, "Miss Sweet, you have been traveling all the way. Let the butler take you and your family back to the villa, and have a good rest. Mr. Arno has already instructed that if you have any requirements on this island, just tell the butler, and the entire White Horse Island will do its best to satisfy you." Sweet nodded and said, "Thank Mr. Arno for me." The assistant smiled slightly and thought to himself, "Miss Sweet should not have misunderstood me. What I mean is that the entire island will try its best to meet her needs. But it is not free. Mr. Arno wants to be frugal and save as much as possible. It is impossible for him to charge all the expenses of Miss Sweet and her party on himself." At a certain moment, he wanted to remind Tawana implicitly. But then he changed his mind and decided not to waste his energy. In case she is dissatisfied, Mr. Arno might blame him for being too talkative. Anyway, all the consumption on the island is on account. And the settlement is unified when leaving. It doesn't matter whether Sweet made a mistake or not. Someone will naturally come to her to settle the bill when she leaves. At that time, even if she curses Mr. Arno 100 times in her heart, it has nothing to do with him. So, he smiled and said, "Miss Sweet, please get in the car." Tawana nodded and asked, "Are the rooms we booked in the same place?" At this time, a female housekeeper came forward and said respectfully, "Miss Sweet, you have booked a total of 4 water villas. And these 4 are next to each other." "That's good." Tawana nodded and said, "Please take us there." The housekeeper made a gesture of invitation and bowed, saying, "Please get in the car, I will take you to the rooms." At this time, many guests who came to watch the excitement gathered outside the pier. They knew yesterday that the big star Tawana would land on White Horse Island today. When they heard the roar and landing of the seaplane just now, they all went out and rushed to the pier, wanting to see the style of the international superstar up close. Seeing Tawana in person, these residents shouted excitedly. And even many fanatical fans wanted to rush up to ask for autographs and take photos. Fortunately, White Horse Island prepared security personnel in advance. And Tawana brought several burly bodyguards to block these fanatical fans from the periphery. Unable to get close, these fans could only take out their mobile phones to take as many photos as possible. Tawana was also used to the feeling of being the center of attention wherever she went. So when she got on the golf cart, she kept smiling and waving to other residents. Hamid and his 2 pregnant wives were also in the crowd at this time. Seeing Tawana, the 2 ladies were particularly excited, and even jumped on the spot and waved and screamed at Tawana. Hamid was anxious and whispered to the side, don't jump, be careful, be careful." The 2 ladies were young. Although they had to wear headscarves and veils according to custom when they went out, they were no different from ordinary women at home. They would also surf the internet and chase stars. Tawana was their idol, so they were naturally excited to meet her. Hamid was very nervous, but fortunately, the 2 ladies were young and strong. So jumping around didn't affect them. Seeing Tawana leave, Hamid finally breathed a sigh of relief and tried to persuade the 2 ladies, "You have seen this star, can we prepare to go back? It's still early now. If you agree to go back, I will arrange for someone to prepare today's tickets. After breakfast, we will check out and go to Mail to take a plane. Chapter 68-72. The eldest lady asked, "Don't we have a chance to get close to Tawana? Even if it's just to ask for an autograph?" The second wife agreed and said, "I also want to take a photo with her. This may be the only chance in my life to meet her face to face and up close." Hamid said helplessly, "Oh, there will definitely be opportunities in the future. I'm worried about something now, and I want to go back early to make arrangements. Besides, Tawana is a big star, and it will be difficult for you to get in touch with her even if you stay on the island. Didn't you see that she takes so many bodyguards with her when she goes out?" The first wife looked at the second and said, "What the commander said makes sense. We just saw her and took photos." The second wife was silent for a moment, and nodded slightly with a little grievance in her heart. "Okay then." Hamid breathed a sigh of relief, immediately took out his mobile phone, made a call, and told the other party, "I want to book the earliest flight back today. Please help me contact the management of Whitehorse Island and prepare a seaplane to take us to the airport." The person on the other end of the phone said respectfully, "Okay sir, I'll arrange it right away." Hamid hung up the phone and said, "I'll say hello to Brother Wade. And we'll leave directly." The two ladies nodded and agreed. At this time, a staff member came to the crowd and announced loudly, "Ladies and gentlemen, I want to announce good news to everyone. Tonight, our group president Mr. Bernard Arnault and his wife have invited Miss Tawana Sweet to attend a party. Now we sincerely invite all residents to attend. Every resident is eligible. The party will be held at our Sea View Bar by the sea. The time is 8 o'clock in the evening. We welcome everyone." "Ah? Really? We can attend the party with Tawana?" The crowd suddenly burst into excited exclamations. And even a few ladies screamed. Even Hamid's two wives were so excited that they held each other's hands and jumped and screamed. The first wife, who was trying to persuade the second wife just now, hugged Hamid's arm and begged, "Commander, let's go tomorrow, okay? We must attend the party tonight no matter what." The second wife also said, "Yes, Commander. We have no other demands. We just want to see Tawana up close. And it would be even better if we could take a photo with her." Hamid said depressedly, "I just asked to arrange to book a plane ticket. You heard the phone call." The first wife pleaded, "Let's go tomorrow, Commander, please, Commander." The second wife also hurried forward. "Yes, Commander, can we stay one more day? Just one day?" Looking at the pleading eyes of the two pregnant women, Hamid's heart softened, and he said helplessly, "Then let's make a deal, just stay one more day. I asked someone to book a plane ticket for tomorrow morning. At that time, even if Tawana wants to hold a concert on the island, you must go back with me." The two ladies smiled at each other. It was already very rare for a top star like Tawana to come out on vacation to give the boss of the group a face to attend a party. How could she hold a concert on the island? This is simply a fantasy. So both of them agreed without hesitation. Hamid had no choice but to call his subordinates again. "Don't book the tickets today, book for tomorrow morning." The person on the other end of the phone asked in surprise, "Sir, are you going to postpone it? I just booked today's ticket." "Yes." Hamid sighed. A big star has come to the island. She will attend a party tonight. The two ladies want to stay one more day to see her. Please help me book tomorrow's tickets. Also, gather all the officers. No matter what they are doing, they must rush back to the base tomorrow. I have an important strategic meeting to hold and no one can be absent. Chapter 68-73. Charlie, Claire, Elaine, and Jacob came to the French restaurant on the island for breakfast. Several butlers waiting there reminded every guest who came in, saying, "Dear sirs and madams, there is a free party at the Seaview restaurant of the hotel tonight. You and your family are welcome to attend. Our group president, Mr. Bertrand Arnault, and his wife have invited the famous singer Tawana Sweet to attend the party." Elaine exclaimed, "Oh, Tawana is really here." Butler Hanny nodded and said, "Yes, Ms. Ma, Miss Sweet has already landed on the island this morning. If you are her fan, you must come to the party tonight. You will have the opportunity to take a photo and an autograph." Elaine snorted with a haughty look on her face, patted Charlie beside her, and said proudly, "Tawana came to China to hold so many concerts some time ago. My son-in-law was the Feng Shui director she specially invited. You go back and tell her that Master Wade is also on the island this time. And ask her to come and visit when she is free." Hanny was stunned and asked in surprise, "Ms. Ma, is what you said true?" "Of course," Elaine said very proudly. "My son-in-law is not someone that anyone can invite. Last time, she asked him to be her Feng Shui director. And that was because of her sincere attitude, so he gave her face." Claire said awkwardly at this time, "Mom, don't talk nonsense outside, it will be bad if it gets out." Elaine was not convinced. "Look at what you said, how could I talk nonsense? Which word I said is not the actual reality," Claire said with a rare dark face. "Mom, even if it is the actual situation, there is no need to publicize it everywhere, right? Can't we be low-key? We are just out for a vacation, and we'll go back in a few days." Elaine saw Claire's unhappy expression. It seemed that her daughter rarely expressed her dissatisfaction so directly. She didn't know where she had offended her. Isn't it her nature to like to show off? It has been like this for so many years. She should have been used to it. However, although Elaine is usually strong, Claire is really unhappy. And she didn't dare to continue to offend her. So she said to the housekeeper Hanny, "What I just told you must be kept low-key and confidential. And don't let outsiders know." Honey smiled and nodded. "Don't worry, Ms. Ma, I won't tell anyone." Elaine turned around and took Claire's arm, and said in a flattering way, "Claire, let's come to the party together tonight. Mom has never seen such a big star." Claire didn't know why, but what she thought of in her mind was always the scene of Tawana kissing the masked warrior passionately on the stage. She felt a little uncomfortable and said, "Mom, if you are interested, come by yourself. I want to rest and be quiet at night." Elaine was a little embarrassed, and looked at Jacob again. And said in a commanding tone, "Then you come with me tonight. And you are not allowed to have any problems." Jacob smiled, "What can I have to do? I must join in the fun." After that, he asked Charlie, "Good son-in-law, do you want to come over tonight?" Charlie waved his hand and said, "I will be in the room with Claire, so I won't join in the fun." Claire looked at him and asked, "Miss Sweet is your client?" It so happens that we are on the same island this time. Wouldn't it be inappropriate if we don't meet? Charlie said indifferently, "What's inappropriate about this? It was originally a temporary cooperation. When the cooperation is over, we will no longer have any cooperative relationship." Chapter 68-74. Claire nodded lightly. Judging from Charlie's attitude, he didn't seem to have any extra feelings for Tavanna, which made her feel a little more comfortable. At this time, Tavanna didn't know that Charlie, whom she had been thinking about, was on the island. Because she had been on the plane for a long time, she didn't have the appetite to come out for breakfast. So she lay on the terrace of the villa to bask in the sun and enjoy the scenery. This time she rented a total of 4 water villas, 2 of which were for the accompanying bodyguards, another for her parents, and the last one for herself. Her parents kept asking her why she didn't call Trevor along the way. After all, with her parents in their eyes, the two have always had a good relationship. And Trevor is also Tawanna's longest-term boyfriend. The family thinks that there is a great chance that the two will be able to get married. This time, the two did not go on vacation together, which made them more or less worried. Tawanna told them that Trevor had missed a lot of training some time ago, and he was making the best of his time to make up for it recently. Although Tawanna really wanted to break up with him, she still couldn't make up her mind after thinking about it. It's not because she still can't bear to let go of Trevor, but mainly because the two have been together for too long and they don't like each other. Trevor knew that he was in love with Charlie, and they could keep their relationship secret without breaking up. But breaking up would be a complete breakup. Moreover, many fans around the world have already accepted their relationship, and they think that after countless relationships, Tawanna has finally met the right person. If she suddenly breaks up at this time, she will definitely be questioned by fans. If Trevor adds fuel to the fire, he will probably be trapped inside and outside. However, human beings are complex animals. Once you don't love each other, this barely maintained relationship will be weird. The more you eat, the more disgusting it becomes. This feeling is like the greasy smell left on your hands after eating fried chicken. When you eat, you ignore it and feel it is particularly delicious. But when you look at your greasy hands after you have finished eating, are full, or even have had enough, you will feel an indescribable nausea and disgust in your heart. Just when she was alone and bored, the doorbell rang suddenly. She came to the door and found through the peephole that the person who rang the doorbell was the famous luxury tycoon Bernard and his wife. Tavanna opened the door and said with a smile, "Mr. and Mrs. Arno, long time no see." Bernard said with a smile, "Tavanna, I didn't expect you to come so far to Maldives for vacation. If you told me earlier, I could have someone clear the entire island and leave it to you." His wife complained in her heart, thinking, "Do you believe what you said? You didn't even want to clear the island when you came to this island. So how could you clear the island for Tavanna?" Tavanna is not a fool. Tavanna is not a fool, but she is not smart either. She did not think of this and said respectfully, "Mr. Arno, you are too polite. Your island has been famous for a long time. I have wanted to experience it for a long time. I am embarrassed to bother you with such a small matter. I just didn't expect you to be here. It's such a coincidence." Bernard Arno laughed and said, "To use the saying, the meeting is fate. We are still destined. We must drink a few more glasses at the party tonight. What do they say? When you meet a bosom friend, 1,000 cups are not enough. Tavanna asked in surprise. Mr. Arno seems to be very interested in proverbs. Bernard Arno's wife complained. He went to China on a business trip before, and he felt much better after the trip. He said that he learned to cultivate his mind and cultivate his character in China. And since then he has been like this. Tawana exclaimed, "Oh, what a coincidence. I have been particularly obsessed with that culture recently. This time I came out for vacation. I also brought a silk-embroidered Gyeongsam, which I like very much." Bernard Arno laughed. "Ha ha, this is called great minds think alike. Miss Sweet might as well wear a Gyeongsam to the party in the evening. It is said that 1/3 of the guests on the island are from China." Tawana thought to herself, since 1/3 of the guests on the island are from China, then the news that she went to the island and wore a Gyeongsam to attend the party will definitely spread to the Chinese internet soon. By then, not only will Chinese netizens have a better impression of her, but if Charlie hears it, he will definitely understand her feelings. So, she agreed without hesitation. "No problem. I will wear the Gyeongsam to the party in the evening." Chapter 68-75. Because of Tavanna's arrival, the originally quiet White Horse Island suddenly became lively. Even at the hottest time of the day, the hotel guests were unwilling to stay in their rooms. And they came out to stroll around like street urchins, just to meet Tavanna. What's even more incredible is that many speedboats of unknown origin came around White Horse Island, both large and small. These speedboats kept circling the island, and some even wanted to sail into the bay to land on the island. White Horse Island quickly sent security guards and housekeepers to drive several speedboats and yachts on the island to block the entrance to the bay. When Tavanna landed on the island in the morning, many tourists had already posted the information about her landing on the internet. There are hundreds of holiday islands in the Maldives, and tens of thousands or even hundreds of thousands of tourists from all over the world have come. These people have a certain spending power. When they heard that Tavanna was in the Maldives and on White Horse Island, many people wanted to come to find out, and even wanted to try to see her. Even if they can't see her in person, it's worthwhile to take a few close-up photos of the island and post them on WeChat Moments or Instagram. White Horse Island is a reef. The main body of the reef is C-shaped. The outer part of the sea is a circle of shallow reefs, which is suitable for snorkeling. However, because the reefs are sharp and too shallow from the water surface, ships cannot enter. In the middle of the C-shaped reef, there is a channel several meters deep, which can be used by small and medium-sized ships. White Horse Island's management reacted quickly. Several ships blocked the opening of the C-shape, and those yachts could only circle in the outer deep sea area. The roaring engine sound was very noisy, which made Charlie a little irritable. He finally came out for a vacation, but he slept well. It was only the second day, and it was like a vegetable market. Because Tawana suddenly landed on the island, Claire's mood became much more decadent. If it was not necessary, she was reluctant to leave the room and go to the restaurant for lunch. And she was afraid of meeting Tawana. Fortunately, Tavanna didn't want to be surrounded by a group of people wherever she went. So the staff sent her lunch to the water villa to avoid contact with the public. Charlie and Claire didn't meet Tavanna in the restaurant, but they met Hamid and his two wives. After the meeting, the two chatted for a while at the door. Hamid told Charlie, "Brother, after the party tonight, I will go back to Syria early tomorrow morning. We brothers finally meet each other. Do you want to have a drink together? Charlie smiled and said, I won't attend the party. If you want to have a drink, let's go to the beach bar after the party tonight. Okay. Hamid said with a smile. If you don't come to the party, I'll contact you after the party. As he said that, he suddenly smiled mysteriously and asked, Brother, do you have plans to have a baby when you bring your wife on vacation this time? What plan? Charlie was still a little stunned for a while and didn't figure out the meaning of this sentence. Hamid smiled, gestured at his bulging belly, raised his eyebrows and said, Make a baby, let your wife get pregnant, and give birth to a baby. Even I am afraid that no one will inherit my small family business. Brother, your family is big and powerful. If you don't give birth to 8 or 10 sons, I am afraid that you will not be able to inherit anything. Oh, that's what you mean, brother. Charlie came back to his senses and smiled awkwardly. There are too many things to do now. We are still in the startup stage. I have no plans to have children for the time being. Let's talk about it later. Hamid nodded, raised his thumb, and praised. Brother, your overall view is indeed much better than mine. Then, he sighed with an embarrassed expression. This is a typical case of lust when you are well fed and warm. I am too optimistic. Hamid was embarrassed, and Charlie was also a little embarrassed. Such things are inconvenient to talk about. So he stopped talking and patted Hamid on the shoulder. Brother, go back and take the time to do the work. If you have any questions, contact me as soon as possible. I will do my best to help. Okay. Hamid nodded with emotion and said, Thank you, brother.